Hi, everybody. Another day together, live from the Visionnaire Design Gallery in Milan. The third and final episode of the Visionnaire Live show is going on the stage soon. It goes beyond simple corporate communication, beyond storytelling, and beyond product presentation. We don't keep waiting for all our guests. Come on, let's start with the show one more time. If at the third appointment you think you already have seen everything, you are wrong. We still have goodies in store for you. New characters, new setting, new background, because here at the Visionnaire, nothing ever repeats itself. There is always something to discover and to be passionate about. The scenography around us continues to evolve, here within the Visionnaire Design Gallery, which at each episode presents a different setting. I lose point of reference, but luckily there are them who act as lighthouse and guide me, the real architect of this amazing show. Eleanor and Leo Cavalli.
Hello.
Ciao Paolo, ciao. Just give me one small minute to make some special thanks. I know that the special thanks normally are in the end of the show, but this time I really need to make some thanks. In particular, I would like to thank all my supply chain, all my technical department, the headquarters in Bologna, the technical department, the quality department, the creative department, and a very special thank, if you allowed me just 1 minute, for my father Luigi, which is not with us during this show, but is for sure watching us. He is a real muse for us. He's inspiring us, and he makes possible from the creativity of the designers. These fantastic products are coming also thanks to his passion and his nice job. So, last thing, we are here in Milano. Milano, as you know, faced probably the hardest time during this pandemic in Italy, and I would like to make a special thank to all the staff here in Milano, not only the showroom staff but also the marketing staff that are resident here in Milano, because they overcame their fears and also probably the suggestions of all their relatives to stay at home and not to go to work. They came, they made an incredible job, 24 hours, 7 days. It's been like 2 months that we are preparing this show for this incredible result. So thanks to all of them, and we are all very proud, and I'm sure I'm talking about, in the name of all the family.
Of course.
So, sorry for this small,
No,
but
I think
it
they
was
surely
worth it to do.
appreciate it. So,
Good.
if you are ready, we are at the last episode. I think you are not tired, right?
Absolutely.
Excited as usual.
Okay. So, in the first episode, we dealt the key issues of the visionary reality, starting from the value of meta-luxury that characterize you. And yesterday's episode, the approach of innovation and sustainable research. We could not close this overview dedicated to the visionary universe without addressing a topic that is basis of the expertise of the brands. That is an innate tailoring ability in creating products and projects to create unique scenographies that satisfy the desires and reflect the personalities of your customer. This one-of-a-kind attitude traced the leitmotif of this episode, renamed All the Beauties is Yours. Told starting from this clip. Let's see together. And the first question is for Eleanor. Your approach to the project, if we can make a comparison, is that of couture, in the field of fashion, which creates tailored clothes. What are the measures you need to take?
Well, I can tell that we are couturier of 1001 Nights Dream. So flexibility, professionalism, Italian craftsmanship, and the design and creation of one-of-a-kind luxury to satisfy the demands of the most demanding customers. Visionnaire, is able to fulfill the most particular request. And after satisfying a customer wishes, sometimes takes the opportunity to make the basis of it of a new collection. So the brand offers total looks for important interior design projects, from private dream homes to public spaces such as hotels, restaurants and private clubs, covering all living areas from bedrooms, living rooms, dining rooms, wellness room, food room, and outdoor areas. Furthermore, Visionnaire has experience in great bespoke projects in the private yacht industry, with the major Italian shipyards, and in private jet industry too.
So, the artisan character of your work and your production certainly benefit you. Leo, in the design field, what does this peculiar identity allow you to do?
Paolo, 20 years ago we made a choice to replicate a little bit what was happening in the production in the fashion industry. So for the first time in our field, in the furniture field, we decided to free our creativity and maximize our quality using the different districts, specialized districts of production in Italy. For example, we work the marble in Verona. Around Verona, we work the glass around Venice. We work the stainless steel around Milano, here in Brianza. For sure, we work the leather in Tuscany, around Firenze and Pisa, and the wood around Pesaro. So all these districts brings with them this speciality, this capacity, this know-how, which is going through the different generations, who makes really the added value of our products, because all of our products are a sum, is like a compilation of different materials. Each of the material is produced in different platforms. So the job is particularly complex and difficult to bring together in a kind of just-in-time production, where every artisan is doing a component of this product and have to go on with the production at the same time. So I think this is our it's what brings to the products of Visionnaire this very special touch and this high quality.
Nice. So you collect the best from each district.
Absolutely.
And putting together,
it's
manufacturing in
Italy,
Bologna.
Of course. Absolutely.
Good. I know a person who fully marries this code of your DNA, and not by chance is one of your greatest interpreters.
Of course, Paolo. We are talking about Alessandro La Spada, an historical signature that has accompanied us in our evolution and with which we achieve incredible results every year. So before introducing him to you, we created a video dedicated to Alessandro that we would like to show you.
Let's see.
Please.
Ciao, mi chiamo Alessandro La Spada.
Hello, my name is Alessandro La Spada. I'm a designer. But most of all, I'm a lucky man. I was able to transform my passion into my profession thanks to the meeting with enlightened people and companies such as Visionnaire. The relationship with Visionnaire has always lasted since the origins of the brand, but it's a very particular relationship. I could say an ancient relationship on a human scale, a sort of pact between the company and the designer. In fact, all the projects that I carried out so far with the company are the result of a synthesis that does not start as the base from fashion or marketing, but is rather a story. We tell stories. And with this, I would like to call it a method which has never changed over time, only the stories have changed. An icon in the world of design is a timeless object, a mix of innovation and originality, capable of remaining in the collective memory, beyond fashion and time. This certainly thanks also to the contribution of commercial and communication companies. How do you create an icon in design? I honestly don't think I have a magic formula, despite I tried to draw a magic wand to help me out. I believe this is a combination of factors which are able to return to this object an extraordinary image. But most of all, I think we cannot ignore factors such as function and especially formal innovation that makes these objects immortal in their current time and in the future. Many Visionnaire products are made with a high contact of craftsmanship. Despite being in the midst of a digital revolution, craftsmanship cannot be separated from design. This because it's an approach that involves art, architecture, design, and technology, but mostly because it makes an object unique, with intrinsic qualities that are touch, but also an added value, the moral safeguard of these processes. Among the most significant craftsmanship of some of my products, I want to mention the Kerwin table. This table, the fundamental element is given by a curved marble slab, but the curvature is not obtained by digging the block, but by tensioning a slab. This inspiration came from observing a slab from a supplier leaning against a wall, which, thanks to time, had acquired a curved shape through gravity, through its own weight. For the arcade table, instead, I was inspired by the rocky surfaces eroded by time, by weather conditions, by water, wind, that characterize the surfaces through these small ashlars. To obtain this result, I intervened directly in a mold by hammering the mold itself directly with a technique that was taught to me by craftsmen which worked leather, so with these rounded tipped hammers to obtain workings for the quivers of the archery arrows. Among the most significant objects that are part of the Visionnaire collection, certainly the first place is occupied by Brunilde lamp. For me, this lamp represents an icon of the company. The processing mainly concerns a tubular cone, which we wanted to give a shape similar to an animal horn through the conformation, through manual presses, and with wooden molds. And from here, this object was born that makes up the Brunilde family. Another object that is particularly significant but useless, let's say, it's a magical object, it's this. It's a magic wand. It's a physical synthesis of an ephemeral object with the pretense of answering a desire.
So we are pleased to have Alessandro La Spada here with us.
Ciao Paolo.
Ciao.
Grazie, ciao Ele, ciao Leo.
Ciao.
Grazie mille, grazie per questa opportunità.
So Alessandro, we are in the beautiful location, and I can definitely say that you did a great job in the restyling. Would you like to tell us something more about this?
Of course, the restyling of this space was thought mainly in a theatrical way, as a respect to the structure itself, to its story, but in particular we concentrated on making it more intimate, more private. So within this backdrop of the location, we made some little structures, like sets, which could be able to convey the feeling of the visionnaire culture, so the home philosophy, which means that beyond the products exhibited, also the fixtures that are holding them are products themselves. So it's a complete mood. So the wallpaper, the floorings dedicated with an inspiration which this time was very, very close to nature. This is it.
So Alessandro, you love to call yourself as a thought artist with the one of the craftsman. What are you most inspired by?
I must say that for who lives through a passion like me and has turned the passion into a profession, you're inspired by anything you find. It's a feeling which I expect is common to others, so even daily life can inspire me. But I must say that according to me, the biggest inspiration of all is nature, the mother of all inspirations. Nature is for free, it doesn't ask anything, it's there, you only need to discover it, but it does ask for something very important. Time is one of the most important things we own. It's a true luxury. Time to watch, look at something, but also observe.
How did you reinterpret the beauty concept in the products that you designed for the new collection of Visionnaire?
Il concetto di bellezza per Visionnaire in questa collezione secondo me ha due valori fondamentali che sono apparentemente opposti. Uno è quello estetico, il più comune, cioè l'attrazione che si ha osservando un oggetto, ma in questo caso la parte psicologica è quella che mi è interessato di più, cioè il rapporto di poter dare una sensazione di benessere con l'utilizzatore è il punto fondamentale su cui ho voluto fare ricerca.
It's very interesting your interpretation of beauty, because it dialogues with one given by another famous designer from US. I'm referring to Adam Tiani, who studied in Milan, started his journey with some of the pioneers of Italian design before landing in New York and starting a splendid international career. We met him together with the managing partner of his studio, Alessia Genova, involved with them in the theme of today. We send you the result of this pleasant moment. Ciao Adam, ciao Alessia, welcome to the Visionnaire show. So today we are going to talk about many things, but we are happy to have you as our special guest of today.
Happy to be here.
Thank you, Paolo. Hi.
Visionnaire, as you know, is one of the most important Italian luxury brands with a philosophy, with a strong identity, full of home design, but eco-sustainability oriented. So what's your opinion about this?
I think eco-sustainability at this point of our history and life is not an option. It's a necessity and it's a reality. All of our designers are completely trained in thinking about sustainability, about sustainable materials, about how to reduce the carbon footprint, and so on and so forth. So it's not even something that we have to remind them. It's part of their DNA. I feel that it's just especially working on cruise ships and stuff like that. All of these issues came to light years ago, and teaching in universities, I mean, you know that this subject is up front and foremost So everybody that comes out of school is already trained to think that way, that sustainability and eco-luxury and everything is the way the world is going. So there's not a question here. Ale, what do you think?
I agree. No, I totally agree with Adam. And I think that sustainability is like, these days is like, it should be the normal way of thinking. It's not like something that it cannot be associated with luxury. Actually, it's the opposite. I think that being sustainable is a way that especially in luxury should be seen as a normal. And so I think it's a very good approach. It's the way to go. And we really think alike.
So today we talk about beauty. What's your opinion between the relation of bespoke and the final beauty?
Having that ability to take the opportunity to work with a manufacturer such as Visionnaire, somebody that understands how to collaborate on projects that at the end satisfy both the designer and the client and the quality of the manufacturer is, one of the reasons we love Italy. Because you find the genius, and that, in the only place I find that is in Italy. So the bespoke aspect, the ability to adapt, to read your mind, and to make it better than what you thought. That is, I think, why every international designer in the world loves to work in Italy, because they find this collaborator, this little genius somewhere, and they form a relationship. So yes, again, beauty, bespoke, it's all about the same thing. It's to be able to work with somebody that reads your mind, that knows what you want, and that can make it happen without, making you lose all your hair,
Yeah.
Yes, and if I may, Paolo, and as Adam said, and that at that point is this bespoke becomes beauty, because it is just like beautiful for you, it bespoke for you, so it becomes beauty necessarily.
So it's evident that Adam and Alessia loves Italy. The intervention of Adam and Alessia were very interesting, and at the end they spoke about their approach of residential project. Leo, can we make a parenthesis on this issue that directly concern Visionnaire? You have a splendid portfolio of villas and residences all over the world.
Visionnaire, I think, is one of the few brands in the design with a very, very strong flavor. In Italy there are a lot of superb companies and very serious companies, but I would say that only few of them have a very special flavor like Visionnaire. When you have such a strong identity, it is normal that the designer or the end user ask your flavor to be a little bit all over the house. And that's why more and more during these years we have been asked to spread our flavor a little bit all over. So not only the collection is really complete because we go from kitchen to bathroom, living room, bedroom, dining room, outdoor, accessories, artworks, etc. But sometimes the client also asks us to design the floor, to design the claddings, to design the stairs, to design the internal doors, to design the ceiling. So they want the perfect box to host our beautiful products. And so this makes us very proud, but in the meantime, it's a real challenge every time. So we arrive to do in some part of the world, and every year we have 4 or 5 big challenge like this to do complete setting, and that's, I think, is the most exciting part of our job.
So, going more on the stuff, your own house in Bologna is a mirror of visionary soul. What does it tell about you and inevitably about the brand?
Me and my wife are both from Bologna, and we just changed our residence. I had the luck to rediscover a kind of meditative space. My house is a private dimension of well-being, and it's perfect for our family. The extraordinary value of this residence is not only its architecture, because it's the expression of the brutalism that in Bologna was followed by architect Zaccheroli, but also, above all, the incredible thing is that is in the middle of a public park. The park of Villa Gygi, which is just 2 kilometers from the historical center of the city, and contains, for example, extraordinary trees in its private garden, including also the oldest Himalaya cedar of Bologna. It's a very, very big tree of 30-meter high. So the perfect mix, I would say, of nature and architecture. And in the house we have a large dedicated area for the wellness, for the fitness, 3 music rooms. We have 13 large terraces, and the possibility to join these 30 acres of beautiful park. So all this makes this residence really special and makes this kind of rehab of our soul. I'm telling you all this because today in Visionnaire, with the experience that we went through during the lockdown, we are oriented more and more to a new spirit that we are calling intensive wellness. What is intensive wellness? Is the intensive use of the house. Is a new concept, considering the fact that, for example, the children should have their space to follow the lessons of their school from home. For example, the parents needs to work from home, and all the family needs to do sport and wellness from their house. And maybe we need a medical area in the house dedicated with a dedicated air-conditioned system to host in fully comfort an eventual member of the family who is sick, who could be even infected. So I think any new project should consider now the experience that we all passed through during this pandemic, and just apply this new functionality to any new project.
So, you put together beauty, family, your life, nature, and landscape to resume also the philosophy of the brand. You have a very close link with the city of Bologna.
Yes.
You live there. Ipe, the company, was born there. Absolutely. And also Visionnaire.
Yes.
And Leo, you have consolidated this relationship even more by joining Phonoprint.
Yeah, Phonoprint is a very famous recording studio which I actually own, which is located in Bologna. And you know that Bologna is the capital of the music in Italy. And from this studio we nurse and we train a new generation of young Italian composers. I take this opportunity to launch a music break and launching Ludovico Creti, which is a very young baritone of 20 years old that will have such a big responsibility today singing O Sole Mio. Please, Regia, Ludovico.
Che bella cosa è una giornata e sole, l'aria serena rompe una tempesta, per l'aria fresca pare già una festa. Che bella cosa una giornata e sole, ma tu sole, più bello in me, oh sole mio, sta in fronte a te. Oh sole mio, sta in fronte a te. Stan fronte a te. Quando fa notte o sole se ne scende, mi viene quasi una malinconia. Sotto la finestra pare già una festa. Quando fa notte o sole se ne scende, ma tu sole più bello in me, oh sole mio, sta in fronte a te. Oh sole mio, sta in fronte a te, sta in fronte a te. Oh sole mio, sta in fronte a te, sta in fronte a te.
Such a talent. With this charge of musical energy, we can start the experimental journey through the new products designed by Alessandro La Spada, which we remember is also the author of this new installation of the Visionnaire Gallery. Alessandro, the honor of being your guide.
Ah, eccoci qua.
Eccoci qua.
Here we
nella
are
stanza
in the
sala da
Arcady
pranzo,
dining
il
room,
cuore, no,
so really
pulsante
the
del caso.
heart of the
Sono
house.
molto contenta di
I'm very
partire da
happy to
questo
start from
prodotto
this
incredibile,
product, this
perché
incredible
è come
product,
una
because
gemma, no?
it's
Ed
like
è
a
anche un
gem,
po' la
and
sintesi di
it
tutto ciò che è
also
stato
represents the
raccontato fino ad
synthesis of
oggi,
everything we've
perché è
said
un
up till
prodotto
now, because
unico,
it's a
quindi molto
unique
legato al
product,
linguaggio
strongly
art design,
connected to
seppur
the
ripetibile.
idea of art
È
design,
un
even though it's
prodotto
repeatable.
fatto di
It's
innovazione
a
e
very
quindi
innovative product,
di
so
talento
with
artistico,
artistic
ed
talent
è
in it,
inoltre un
and it's
progetto
also a
one of a
one-of-a-kind
kind, quindi un
project,
progetto
so
speciale
a
che
special
tutte le
project
volte
which
che verrà
every time
diciamo
it will
proposto e
be, let's
prodotto
say,
per il cliente,
proposed and produced for a
presenterà
client,
delle
will
sfumature di
present
unicità.
something slightly
Prego,
different, a
Leo, se
unique
vuoi,
aspect.
diciamo,
io
dire
intanto
qualcosa.
Leo,
volevo
if you want
farti
to add
i
something,
complimenti,
well, first of
Alessandro,
all, I want to
perché
congratulate Alessandro
qui vedo
because
un
I
tavolo
see
opera
here
d'arte,
a
ma in
work of
realtà
art,
è un
not a
tavolo che
table, but
contiene
actually
un'opera
it's also a
d'arte, no?
table
Quindi
which
con la
contains a
furbizia di
work of
avere un
art.
top
So with this
trasparente
clever
che mi
idea of having
permette
a
di
transparent
godere
top,
di
which
questo
allows
sottotop,
me to enjoy the undertop,
artistico,
which
lo
is
trovo
artistic,
geniale,
I think
inedito
is very
e come al
clever
solito
and very new
sempre molto
and
speciale come tutti i
special,
tuoi
as
prodotti. Ma
all your
lascio a te la
products are.
parola.
Please.
Sì, in effetti questa prima
Yes,
pedana
this first
ci riporta in
setting
quello che
really
è un po'
leads us
il
into
contenuto di
what
tutti
is the
gli
contents
aspetti di
of
questa nuova
all
collezione.
aspects of this
Qui
new
soprattutto
collection.
c'è
So
una
especially
scena
here
che ha
we
un po' di
have
brutalismo, no,
a
in questa
scene
ricetta,
which
nel
also
realizzare
contains
questo
some
baule. In
brutalism
effetti
in this the recipe for this
diciamo, la
table.
sua specialità, la
The
sua
speciality, the
particolarità è quella
peculiarity
di
we could
avere
say of this
una
object is
struttura che
the
fa
fact
quasi
of having a
da scrigno, da
structure
castole,
which is
sono proprio
almost
queste gambe
like a box,
martellate da
a
Marco
case, these
lavorando sullo stampo con un intervento
personally
personale
hammered
quello che
legs, which
serve,
I
diciamo,
did
per
on the
estrarre
mold
l'elemento
directly
metallo.
to extract the metal element. So really
È
a
vero, sì.
Renaissance
Sì, sì, è
artist
vero.
you've been
Ci
here.
sono queste caratteristiche, ma qui molto
Yes,
evidenti, no?
the features here are
Mentre
quite
invece il
obvious,
pezzo ha
let's
questa
say.
caratteristica
Whereas
quasi appunto, come
also
dicevo prima, di
then
essere
there's
un castone
also
per questo
almost this
oggetto
idea of being like
che
a
è
case
una via di mezzo,
containing
un
this
buon
object,
compromesso tra
which
il
is a good
naturale e
compromise
artificiale, che è un'altra
between natural and artificial, which is
dell'art
also
design
a
visionaire.
characteristic
Infatti
of Visionaire's art
diciamo,
design,
l'ispirazione alla natura
because
è
the inspiration from
assolutamente per
nature,
osmosi,
of
no?
course, is very
Tratta, per cui c'è una pietra che
direct,
riprende la
because
trama
there's
di
also a
alcuni
stone which
semipreziosi, che
repeats the
effettivamente
line
marmo
of
sotto la base,
semi-precious stones, and it's
sulla quale
actual
poi
marble
interviene
in the
l'uomo.
base. But
Quindi
then there's
interviene
man's
l'uomo, ma con un certo
intervention
rispetto, cioè
with a
ne segue,
certain
ne prende come dato
respect.
oggettivo
So,
gli spunti
like
dalla
a
natura, dipende chi sono
gentleman
le palette
robber,
cromatiche
you
dell'agata,
take
per esempio,
inspiration from the color
e
palette, from
questo
the
fa sì che ogni pezzo
nuances of
diventi molto
nature,
unico.
which means
Quindi
that
il
each
prodotto
piece,
ripetibile
each
in art
time
design
is actually
diventa
unique.
poi
So it's a repeatable product,
un
but
pezzo
being
unico in
art
effetti,
design,
ogni pezzo
it's
diventa
also
unico.
unique, and each piece is different from the other. We also see here chandelier, which has already become an icon for the brand, presented last year in Milan Trade Fair, seen in all its amazing beauty here. It almost looks like a satellite, actually. So once again, we're talking about a trip, a journey towards other worlds, towards an unbeaten track, or maybe the constant research for inspiration. What were you thinking when you designed it? Yes, here we really raised our eyes to the sky, moving the point of view. Inspiration is exactly this, to have, these are satellite antennas that we took the idea from to then compose this sort of elements which float through air with this explosion. But the aspect which really leads us to the common thread with the other products is the reference to nature. So the luminous part, which is both functional, of course, but also beauty with this amazing onyx, also has a bit of an esoteric aspect, conveying well-being through the lighted stone, and also singularity, because of course each piece here is going to be different from another. I would also like to mention something about Akira, if you don't mind, because the topic of nature that Alessandro is so fond of, that he was explaining also, first talking about the inspiration of the whole collection, is nature, natural organizer. Akira is a product we presented last year, which has this tulip shape, a bit open, and this year we decided to combine with Arcady with this new pattern, which this sort of quilted, padded pattern with these fans, fan topic, which is also part of the fixture proposal. So, as usual, I would like Alice's contribution to see the details of the
table is composed of a metal structure with 4 legs, wrought in foundry by sand casting in order to create a 3-dimensional texture with a hammered effect through the use of a master model with a sand mold, which is then filled with melted metal. The very fine sand allows to realize the 3-dimensional texture, which is then polished by hand to obtain this particular material effect, and then lacquered in our metal colors. These legs then support an element, a marble slab named crema marfil, with an irregular shape and dimension smaller than the glass top, since the architect's idea was to create a work of art underlying the top, as in a glass case, in order to be able to fully contemplate it while using the table. With the laser processing, a series of grooves are created, after which, with the aid of various color resins, it is possible to intervene inside the grooves, create these movements of colors that bounce, fade, and return. In addition, with the coating of resins, Himalayan salt grains are added as to recreate a fossilization process given by the time but created today. Therefore, a unique feast, different every time, since no table will ever have one underlying slab equal to another. Malcolm is an irregularly shaped carpet and plays on the effect of agate marble, where you can feel with the touch higher and lower rings at different heights. It plays a lot on the colors, and the rings are made with craftsmanship using the New Zealand wool, while the rest of the carpet is in bamboo silk.
Thanks, Alice. With Alessandro, we have just started the interesting journey into beauty. So let's unveil the new ultrasound bedroom in the next setting.
Here we are in the ultrasound bedroom, of course the most private part of the home, but also the one that energizes you. The room which is connected to waves, sound waves, music, and also art. So here we are with a new work of art of CaCO3, a cathedral with these fashion colors, because we wanted to give this sort of male-female interpretation, like in the Leonardo unit, this grey lacquering. Alessandro, here I see a series of signs that look like a constant research of well-being. I see this bed, which is almost tattooed, let's say. Very masculine from a certain point of view, and then, as usual, as you often do, there's a contraposition also with some feminine traits that are sweeter and rounder and more gentle. So give us some detail of what was your creative moment about this product. It's true, Leo, you've said this very well. There's this masculine, feminine that always side by side in our collection. The wave is also an element, the wave of well-being. This is realistically present on the bed, whereas on the bedside tables it becomes more like a connection to the head of the bed. The femininity of the lamps is given by this sort of bracelet which surrounds the luminous part. The same we can find also on this new item, which is this armchair cloud. Here I see a metal which is folded, bended, and also becomes thinner, so almost with the optical illusion of entering into the tapestry. Instead, it's a very particular technique, actually. So quite complicated, I think, as well. Yes, a great craftsmanship here as well. And once again, there are our codes reinterpreted with a soft leather and combined with a jewel. The metal always has this function on Visionnaire of sustaining, like in this case, the comfort of this sculpture. Here I see also a declination of the cobble, which from the vanity unit becomes, let's say, makeup desk. Very interesting here as well, with all its little holders. Once again, I'd like Alice to explain this product to us with some details.
Ultrasound, already from the name, has a very young, fresh and casual appearance with very characteristic details such as these two metallic signals on the headboard, one high on the left and the other lower on the right. The bed frame, as the headboard, has this type of padding. All the elements of this bed are upholstered individually on curvilinear wooden bases. And in the juxtaposition between the various parts, we find a demarcation given by a large piping, which further underlines the raised camber of the individual parts. This system is also repeated on the bedside table, which opens with a curved door and has a semi-circumference which is almost equal to the one of the bedside table. Once the door is open, a shelf is recessed into the door and have a border so as not to drop the objects stored during the opening movement. This mechanism is extremely comfortable, giving the possibility to take the objects stored inside, even lying comfortably on the bed. It has a marble top, and the base recalls the metal elements of the headboard. Fluoro is a family of lamps composed by Murano glass capsules divided in two parts. These capsules are joined in the central part and present small points of gold obtaining by applying a very thin gold foil on the glass when it's cooked. During the cooking time, the foil disintegrates and disperses itself inside the glass, thus creating a series of gold dots on the surface of the capsule. Each capsule is supported by a jewel cage with this bracelet, which supports it in the junction point. The floor lamp has 3 capsules, the table lamp 2, the wall lamp 1, and the chandelier 4. The cobble makeup unit derives from the already known cobble wash basin console. The top is composed by 2 parts. One is made of crystal Juliet marble. The second is a raw lacquered band in which 2 compartments are hidden to the right and the left of the mirror to store the necessary items for the makeup. The cobble vanity unit also has 2 drawers, and the perimeter frame is in wood, and it's worked like in the cobble series. The luminous mirror is placed inside a structure covered with the same leather as the pull tabs, placed to open the secret compartments, or you can choose to make it in RAL, matching the internal lacquered part of the top. The Philidor carpet is a reinterpretation of the motif of the headboard of the ultrasound bed, and is hand-tufted in bamboo silk and New Zealand wool with hand-carving decorations. This is the new Leonardo chest of drawers, like in the Leonardo high cabinet, but with 2 central drawers and 2 curved side doors that open outwards.
Thanks, Alice. After the arcade dining room and the ultrasound bedroom, we are going to show the new living area called Douglas.
Eccoci qua nella Douglas living
Here
room.
we are in the Douglas living room. We're sitting already comfortably, and I'm standing on the new Malcolm carpet, which is a project made together with Alessandro, which includes 4 new carpets, including this, which is very rock, as all the room is actually. There are many elements we should talk about, including these Egmont low tables. So, Leo. Okay, I'm going to stand in front of all this beauty. These tables, I think we had called them celery before we called them Egmont. Their kind of original name was celery. You were mentioning earlier subtraction design, which I think is a recurring element between Leonardo, Douglas sofa and the table Egmont. There's always this idea of the bite, isn't there, which tries to create a sort of tension, a dialogue, a communication, a vibration, a positive vibration. Yes, this is true. Both the sofa and also the coffee table have in common these elements, as you were saying earlier, of subtraction, where the empty part becomes a recognizable part and a sort of completion of the object, which makes it recognizable without being show-off. So moving away from the stereotype to the peculiar. This is a very interesting hand processing, for example, which has almost been hammered, we could say, the texture, which we called galusha, which in this black and gold marble becomes really characterizing of this all, and it turns it into a real work of art instead of a serious production table. Each client receives actually a unique item. This is our goal. It is always going to follow the natural vein of the marble layer, so it's always going to be unique. The first designer is nature. She is going to suggest to us what to do. I want to also mention always the combination with our artist here that we involve in our team. This is Michele Astolfi. This is a brown flower, which also chromatically, I think, has a good combination with Leonardo cabinet, which, differently from what we saw earlier, here is covered in leather and cafe color marble top. Here I see a table lamp which is incredibly original, which also represents in steel one of my favorite plants, which is the banana leaf plant. So I see this curve and the fold of the metal, let's say, a double torsion, which makes it really special. I've seen other sizes as well, so this is a family as well. Yes, it's a family of phytomorphic inspiration, so certainly connected to nature, as you said, banana leaves. As we really did an operation which is almost like the crazy gardener, actually, because is a combination then with the lamp base, which comes from the Rebel family in the various versions of applique and table lamp, giving origin to this Caglia new lamp, and the light creates a shadow through the leaf. So let's hear Alice for details.
The Douglas family is composed of upholstered furniture, characterized by a strong sign, such as a bite, an excavation of materials of the corner of the shapes, then covered by this full-thickness lacquered aluminum crankcase, which marks the armrest in an important way to the extreme depth of the sofa. These elements seems to be the feet of the sofa or armchair, but are actually raised 1 centimeter from the ground. The feet that support the elements are actually hidden internally. The other characteristic is given by the seat, where the leather or fabric is sewn with down padding to give an image of great softness accentuated both in the seat and in the side parts of the armrest, which also have 2 clearly visible seams and an internal hidden thread. The armchair have an imposing size, 130 centimeters, in order to give a proportionate image with the armrest of large thickness and height equal to the backrest. The chaise longue can be of 2 types, either as a part of a sectional, and therefore imagine this piece about 60 centimeters longer, or a self-standing chaise longue with a strong personality, where the characterizing element of the armrest is also reported on the backrest and in the front part. The same thing happens also in the matching poof, that if approached to the chaise longue, almost form a complete U. In this case of fabric Douglas elements, instead of a double stitching, which would drawn into the fabric, a leather piping was placed. The whole thing is enriched by C-tables or tray tables, where the curvature of the frame recalls the one of the armrest, while the wooden top increases in thickness in the overhanging part. The overhang part is counterbalanced by an extended piece of foot to prevent the overturning when objects are placed on it. The extended foot can be fit under the sofa or poof in order to have the table closer for its use. Another feature of Douglas is that all sofas are composed of 2 side elements with a coupling system under the seat. This occurs because the thickness of the armrest and backrest is the same, and also gives us the possibility of using the same side modules also for the sectional composition. Thanks to a careful study of alteration of the modules, with or without lateral elements and bites, it is possible to create a composition that also sees the presence of voids. As in this case, where we can insert a rear element composed of 2 wooden panels supported by 3 vertical metal plates, one of which is a curve that follows the shape of the bite. Small but very important note is the use of this new type of leather called Nabuk Libeccio, which halves the price deriving from the upholstery while maintaining very high quality and sensorial level, also if compared to Nabuk Maestrale, bestseller among the leathers in the Visionnaire collection. The Egmont low table is available in 2 different heights, but with the same diameter, and it is composed of a marble top with 3 legs that take the shape of the bite of the Douglas sofas, by the use of a template where the internal part is shiny and self-reflecting while the external is satin. The marble top is at the same height of the legs structure. Touching the surface, they are at the same level. In this case, the marble top is in black and gold with galuchar processing. And thanks to this, is a unique piece every time. Seldon is a bamboo, silk, and New Zealand wool carpet, worked with different heights of material. The nuances represent this change in height compared to this cohesive part thanks to the carving technique. The carpet visually evokes the texture of the marble, recalling the furnishings with marble elements with which it is possible to combine it.
Great. With few more notions, we can go to face another special set, which sees this collection once again protagonist.
Eccoci qua, sulla super dormeuse.
Here we are on the super Bansky dormeuse in this kind of fluffy fabric. Our let's say, we used to call him mascalzone, so bad boy. I think it could be interesting to say something about our table. Butler table, the Douglas table, which has the peculiarity of being able both independent or inserted with a particular use. Yes, it's true. In fact, this particular design of the support, which is in line with the subtraction of the foot of the sofa, this positive tension we were mentioning earlier, can then become an element which gives us the possibility, having this open void space, to become a real, let's say, side coffee table with the support. It's also interesting the completion of the Caglia family, which we saw previously, with floor lamp, table lamp, and wall lamp. I think this is really a sculptural object, very special, not just complicated from a technological point of view and its finishings. It doesn't show any sign of the processing of the folding on it, but it could really be associated with an art gallery object. It's extremely craftsmanship, yes. I can add that it lives in the environment because the shadows and lights that it creates with the line of the reflection of the leaves really involve the whole environment, so they create an atmosphere. At this point, I'm going to launch Lice's
Caglia
video.
is a project that consists of 5 different elements: floor lamp, wall lamp in 2 different sides, and high and low table lamps. The wall lamp has this subtle element that joins the metal element that contains a marble disc. The same applies to the table lamp, with obviously a difference in attachment. One is for the wall and the other one for the countertop. This type of processing is very delicate and complex, since it concerns an extremely thin steel sheet that is laser cut and then, with a specific template, is folded and curved at the same time. It is not simply folded into a book, because the difficulty lies in the curving it with disinclination without creating ripples either internally or externally. The inside of the leaves is shiny, while the outside and structure are satin. The floor lamp has 3 leaves with 3 stems that descend and fit inside a large central leg covered by 3 marble discs that decorate the base. The floor lamp is 179 centimeters high. It really is a work of art.
I see Eleanor, Leo, and Alessandro moving to the last setting.
Eccoci qui nella camera da pranzo.
Here we are in the Caravan dining room. Caravan has become a bestseller among our dining areas.
Per la purezza del suo design,
for the pureness of its design and the curve of the legs.
L'abbiamo presentato in Invisible
we
Grey
presented it in Invisible
scorso,
Grey last year, but this year we needed a darker marble version, so we found the right flexibility also for this black and gold. Also, I'd like to say, very interesting, this cooperation with Antolini Marmi, which we carried out especially for this particular protection of the top. We all know how much concern everybody has using a table and serving a dinner over such a precious top, with the possibility that maybe a drop of lemon or oil or alcohol could corrode or ruin such a beautiful, precious top. With this special technique, in cooperation with Antolini, on 3 particular kinds of marble, we are able to be sure that we are not going to ruin the top while we use it. And this technique is called A0 Care. I think it's extremely interesting. Then we reach here now the true player here, completely innovative. This shower, let's say, of meteorites, the rock chandelier. What happened here? There was a short circuit. Well, again, here we were gentlemen robbers. We took directly from the rocks some fragments which were really minimally signed by this metallic element, which is on all the fixture of this collection. So it can be transformed in a luminous object or in a base, and then it fluctuates in air, this stone installation, we could call it. I'd like to add a few words both about Caravan and rock concerning the important aspect of innovation, because Caravan has had this very special interpretation of the elasticity of marble. So we bent this layer, not block, of the table foot, very few millimeters, to obtain this sort of tension and avoid a huge waste of marble. And also for the rock chandelier, this is also sustainable in some way, because it's done through the waste of the marbles used for the tops of our vanities. So there's a double aspect of innovation and sustainability. I also want to say something about the cloud armchair, because here it's been covered. It's the one we saw in the ultrasound bedroom. It's also in this chair version, covered with this new leather called Eco Skin, which also has a very strong innovation content, because it comes from the waste of leather processing. Instead of being burnt and created a very strong impact and footprint, they are taken, reworked and recovered and turned into this very natural and also easy to clean fiber. So also very easy to keep for, let's say, housewives or who's in care of the house. So I think we can complete now this setting with the help of Alice, which as usual we asked to give technical details.
Is a mix of unexpected geometries. The top comes with a single marble slab by Antolini in Port Laurent. The peculiarity of the table lies in the curvature of the marble of the legs from slab and not from block, avoiding waste of material. The seal and the stone of the base melt optically. These two materials, tensioned by concave and convex curves, make up a single two-faced element, while the mirrored surface of the curved seal reflects the surrounding environment. The marble top concludes the project sculpturally. The top is treated with a zero care, a unique process that guarantees permanent protection with polish finish from stains and corrosion caused by the contact of surface with acid foods and organic substances, without altering the colors, the tactile perception, and the specific properties of the natural stone. The process, only patented and carried out at Antolini production units, makes the surfaces non-permeable, avoiding the proliferation of bacteria and also making them simple to clean. Always aimed at increasing the quality standards of its material while providing the maximum attention to the environmental impact of the proposed solution and production processes implemented, the company has studied this technology with greater attention to environmental protection. In fact, the zero care process does not produce any emissions into the atmosphere, nor does it generate processing waste. On the experimentation front, Visionnaire uses Antolini's revolutionary zero care also on other products. The Cobble Wellness Unit will feature the ethereal texture of Dover white marble, while the Leonardo Wellness Unit will be enhanced by the expressive power of marble in black and white Dalmata. The cloud chair has a curved plywood padding with a rear quilting that recalls the Foscari embroidery. But the part that deserves particular attention is the metal frame that embraces the backrest with a changing inclination. The movement is torsional and is obtained from a cold deformed aluminum bar, then chromed to give a reflective surface. This type of operation is combined with the fact that in the part closest to the armrest, the thickness of the metal gradually decreases until it reaches a thickness of about 1 centimeter near to the arm, so that when the chairs are approached one to another and being the shell spread outwards, this part of the armrest does not touch the metal of the chair next to it. Visually, is as if the metal element is drowning inside the body and then comes out entirely as it continues towards the floor, although it's not so and it's only an optical effect. The vertical bar gives the possibility to lean on the base, creating an absolutely remarkable base solidity. The shell is 2 centimeters apart from the structure. In fact, it is possible to insert the fingers at this point in order to move the chair easily. Rock is a chandelier composed of marble elements, in this case ivory onyx, that wants to evoke almost a meteor shower from the space. A cascade of onyx pieces cut with water jets machines, encapsulated and joined together by this double metal strip, which also has its light source in the back. Everything is kept suspended by these steel cables that join a ceiling platform, very scenic when it's turned on. Di Belisario carpet is made with a carving system to give this three-dimensional effect, where these parts, which recall the Foscari embroidery, are in New Zealand wool and lurex, while the rest of the carpet, in the lowered parts, is in bamboo silk.
Eccoci qua, Ale, nella
Here we
stanza
are,
del
Alessandro, in the
Manutones,
Manutones room called
Insomma, torniamo un po'
Petra.
all'era della
So
pietra.
we're
Giochiamo
going
su
back
questo
to the
termine
era of
così, un
stone,
po' primitivo,
playing a bit
brutalista,
on this
eccetera.
idea of
Ma ha
primitive,
tutti i codici di Visionnaire,
but we
questa
have
poltrona,
still
no?
all Visionnaire codes in this
Assolutamente. Questo
armchair,
è
certainly,
un
yes.
bell'oggetto,
It's a very
un po'
beautiful
singolo, non
object,
fuori campo,
a
però sta
bit
benissimo con tutto il
individual, a
resto.
bit
Infatti,
out of
come
the
dicevi tu
chorus,
prima,
but fits
l'ispirazione è un
in
po' l'era
with
della pietra,
everything
quindi
else. The
questo
inspiration comes a bit from the idea of Stone Age. So this mammoth inspiration, very, let's say, hairy, almost soft touch, calling also visual comfort. It's always dynamic. There's always this idea of emptiness becoming a constitutional element, part of the architecture, as we saw also on the sofa and on the walls, very important elements. Then made gentler by this leather piping that goes around it, a muscular element, but let's say that we've dominated. And talking about stone, we have also a reference. We have combined Petra with this new work, Germani Reali, by Michele Astolfi. There's another evolution in language. There's no photography here, but 100% interpretation of the artist with these insertions in crystal and stone. Now it's back to Alice. La poltroncina Petra ha come principale caratteristica il fatto di una forte presenza del metallo che fa un forte contrasto con la tappezzeria d'effetto ottenuta tramite l'utilizzo di questa nuova tessuto.
So, finally you are back. It was a broad and in-depth journey in the company of a key figure in Visionary's evolutionary history. Alessandro La Spada accompanied us to discover his countless creation for the beauty collection. We touched an artisan ability and a research in materials and workmanship that allows both company and designer to speak the same language. But before to say goodbye to Alessandro, I have two more questions. The ability to vary shapes, but also finishes and fabrics while maintaining the basics design metrics makes me immediately think on the brand's bespoke ability. Alessandro, uniqueness and personalization are not only the theme of the day, but in general of the collection. How do these concepts relive in 2020 products presented?
Sì, Paolo, in effetti il bespoke.
Yes, Paolo, actually, bespoke is truly a part of Visionnaires' world. It's always been like this. Each product is conceived in these terms. Right from the first sketch, we imagine which possibilities could this object face in change of materials, volumes, shapes, to satisfy clients' needs. It's a natural evolution of the product.
You must reveal to us how you manage to maintain such solidity and freshness at the same time in the collections.
Paolo, in realtà non ho.
Actually, Paolo, I don't really have a secret for this, but I think I can say that there's a crucial element which helps us every year to find this path. It's the fact of having always a different story to tell.
Thank you, Alessandro. I'm sure we will see other beautiful creation by your side in the future.
Grazie Paolo.
Thank you, Paolo. Thank you, Eleanor and Leo, for this opportunity.
To close this resume, let's take a quick overview on the latest furniture products that Alessandro has included in 2020 collection and that although we have not seen them contextualized in the setup, certainly deserve a brief presentation.
It has also been created a bathroom element of the well-known series Leonardo, which, as you can see, we are declining for this 2020 collection in different ways, precisely because of its design, the sympathy of the project, and the success it is having. It has a deep groove on the wooden doors, as in the other models, and it is presented with a top in Dalmata marble, treated with the zero care technique. This double wash basin console is installed against the wall. Despite this, it has the characteristic of having the taps for regulating the water on the top, slightly on the side of the sink and not on the wall. The side doors have a more limited opening, designed not to crash into the wall at the time of opening. The first drawer hides the siphoning system, while the second is to all effects a drawer to old objects. The mirror Fidelio is made up of 3 parts. The first is a wooden element that stays behind a structural part of the product. On the concave wooden element, there is an application of this concave metal with equal curvature on which the design of a marble that does not exist in reality has been printed. This makes it very particular since it is perceived that it's not exactly a marble, but a kind of design print that wants to evoke this kind of stone not present in nature. The third element is a circular mirror, which is obviously flat, but due to the curvature of the metal, the light behind seeps through the middle parts of the circle. Olympia is a makeup unit inspired by the Ecos bench. Externally has lacquered surfaces, and the idea of the convexity of metal that forms the two internally convex legs in polished metal was preserved from the typical design of Ecos. Olympia is integrated with a mirror with a metal frame and a courtesy light for the makeup. A piece of furniture absolutely in line with the aesthetic of the Ca' Foscari room, matching the Hamilton chest of drawers and the Ecos bench to complete the room we know.
If you have seen the previous episode, you will now expect, after this part devoted entirely to products novelties, a space dedicated to Visionnaire premium partners in the world. So it is indeed. But today we are going to make a focus on of the major markets of the brands, that is the American one, among the most received in recent years and with the greatest development. We wait a moment to reveal the contribution that arrived from overseas today. First, Leo, I would like to ask you some update on the American territory and what project you have on site.
Paolo, it is certainly the market that is giving us, together with China, the greatest satisfaction. In February 2019, there was the grand opening of the Los Angeles flagship store, and in the Miami flagship, inaugurated during the Art Basel 2019, we have the luck to have a space of over 800 square meters. We have made also a nice partnership in Vancouver, and we have a dealer in New York City, and we are looking now for new windows in Mexico City, in Tampa, in Orange County, so it is quite a wide new market for us.
So it's nice coverage of US. So it's time to introduce the contribution directing from LA, Los Angeles, Lorenzo Cascino and Alessandro Alessandrello.
Hello everyone, my name is Lorenzo Cascino. I'm the head for Visionnaire America, North America and Canada. I welcome you from one of our showrooms. Visit the showroom in Los Angeles. We have another one in Miami in order to cover also the East Coast. Despite this short pause in which the world stopped, we continued to work on the many important real estate projects. I'm proud to say that in these two last years of direct presence of the Visionnaire in this market, we have achieved important success in terms of brand awareness and in terms also of positioning, becoming undisputed leader in the market when it comes to high real estate projects, when we talk about high-end projects. So I'm here also today to reveal a preview of another important project created, designed entirely by Visionnaire. We are talking about a modern luxury house located in Beverly Hills, in this area called Sierra Mar. There are many Hollywood and music stars who live in this area, which dominate a city with a breathtaking view. We are very proud about this project created by Visionnaire and ready to be in the market in a couple of months for $25 million. Thank you so much for your attention, and be safe.
I'm Alessandro Alessandrello and I'm the project manager for Visionnaire here in Los Angeles. I'm so happy that finally we come back here to work at the showroom after 2 long months of lockdown, and I'm excited to support again our clients and the interior designers that finally we can meet again here in our beautiful space. And I wish you good luck, and we are so great, and
So we leave the glitter in Los Angeles to fly to Miami. The city of the East Coast has just seen you protagonist last December during the Art Basel Miami, where the Pavone capsule was launched. Eleanor, tell us something about this event and about the atmosphere you breathed.
What I can say, it was such an amazing event and moment. So the installation, the Garden of Beauty, literally transformed the showroom and gave guests the feeling of being transported to a sort of dream world. A prominent position has been assigned to the beauty and opulence of the peacock and its shameless display of vanity. This reflects the transformation that takes place within the home when the space is created with the most visionary and aspirational expectations. So the exhibit also served as a way to invite the Miami community of artists, designers, tastemakers to experience our newly renovated Wynwood District showroom.
So Miami, Eleanor, is also traditionally host one of the major events dedicated to boating, the Miami Boat Show. And for the first time, you took part together with Baglietto. Leo, this sector also proves to be a test of field for your bespoke ability.
Yeah, of course. Every year we do a few projects in the yachting, and we have worked already with many producers. Most of them, I have to say, Italians, so it's a double proud. Now we have a coming up cooperation with a famous Italian yacht designer called Luca Dini, and a super notorious international luxury producer. And I hope in the next weeks, Paolo, to come out with the dedicated news, as it is going to be a real visionary project, never seen before on the yacht business.
So, we then met your partners on site, Juan Carlos Navarro and Alessandro Saponaro of Visionnaire Miami.
Let's see it.
Hello everybody, I am Juan Carlos Navarro, I am the manager of Visionnaire Miami, and we're very proud to present or being part of the launch of the new collection 2020. We were asked to talk a little bit about how we experienced the pandemic here in Miami. We had to close entirely the store. We were working completely from home, and from the intimacy of our own home, we were actually very happy to connect with a lot of clients and designers in a very intimate way as well. They were very responsive in the communication, in which we showed the collection, we showed our materials, and we were able to complete few sales through there. The architects and the designers were very active in order to process and place the orders, although we were closed for a little bit. Now we're open and very happy to do it, but they wanted to take the opportunity being at home to complete the order and to have everything ready by the time we open and reopen the factories. In the other hand, we work with final clients. In this case, we are offering a new service called White Glove, in which we bring the pieces to their homes. Once we bring the pieces to their place and they see it set up with Visionnaire items, it's impossible not to keep at least 1 or 2 pieces. So we have been very successful doing that with all the safety measurements. We are not doctors, but we are curators of space. And they were very bored at home, and they were so happy to retake interior design projects because they wanted to shake things up in their space. We lent a lot of our samples to our designers so they can have actually the opportunity to explore them, and we have also had a very nice reaction from them. It seems like everybody has more time to explore new things. I'm very happy to be part of this launch again, and I am sure that you're going to enjoy it because it's a beautiful, beautiful collection.
Hello, my name is Alessandro Saponaro and I am the brand ambassador for Visionnaire Miami. As a licensed real estate broker in the state of New York and Miami, I bring over 15 years of experience in the luxury market. I've been working with top clients from around the world in a market as diverse as Miami. It was a perfect fit for me to join an already successful lifestyle brand like Visionnaire. After all, we say that a nice, well-decorated house is really, really important in terms of luxury. At this present moment, Miami is slowly reopening the doors for business and travel. The way business are run has been different from the COVID-19. And that includes change how we operate. During the pandemic, our clients were forced to work from home 24/7. So they start to realize how important it is to live in a comfortable and elegant home. We connected daily with clients through our marketing instruments and phone calls and video and Zoom. We connect daily with clients through our communication channel and virtual appointments to satisfy their needs. As a brand ambassador of Visionnaire, it's my pleasure to introduce to you a brand that fits the needs of all the clients looking for the best of the best, the true definition in terms of luxury and elegance.
So, last but not least, in the frame of this splendid flagship store in Milan that welcomes us with open arms of these lives, the very first window of Visionnaire in the world, the pulsing heart of the company through the words of its showroom manager, Laura Verdi. Let's see the clip.
Hello, I'm Laura Verdi and I'm the store manager of the flagship store Visionnaire Design Gallery in Milan, and I'm also the visual merchandiser of the company. I'm very happy to inform you the reopening of the showroom after the lockdown period with a complete new dress. We are in a historical place of Milan, the former Cinema Cavour, that was one of the most important movie theaters in the center of the city. It was definitely closed in 2006 and it took a new life with Visionnaire in the late 2008. We used the space for many events in the past. Anyway, we decided that the space was too beautiful to host foreign companies, and we decided to keep the space only for us. The original concept of the showroom was the 3F: fashion, food and furniture. That's why we are hosting a coffee bar where we can have our customer as guests, or also people coming from outside that choose us for a very special quick lunch. We believe that art is very important if it's integrated with design. That's why we have Wunderkammer. Wunderkammer is an art gallery where the curator Marco Morandini organizes sometimes a year some art exhibitions, choosing many artworks from a very focused selection of artists. Going through the pandemic, we can say that the engine didn't stop. We started smart working and we closed the showroom. During this period, we developed a project in collaboration with Alessandro La Spada to renovate the showroom according to the concept of sustainability and the low-impact production process. We started the renovation of the showroom immediately after the lockdown, and now we are ready to show you the new collection you can enjoy with us. if you are not able to come in person, we can use technology. Pandemic teaches us two important things. One was that consciousness of people being safe at home, living their life in houses that give the possibility to feel consciousness of what they are instead of what they want to have. And second, the possibility to use technology as a new way of communication with people. That's why we can organize virtual tours of the showroom to show you how we can work with materials and personalize furniture to give a very comfortable bespoke solution studying one-of-a-kind project. That's why we like to define ourselves tailors of design. The showroom of Milan is also the place where both dealers and final customers are welcome. We are looking forward to see a Visionnaire beauty collection all over the world.
Nice contribution.
Very nice.
So sadly, we are moving towards the end of this first Visionnaire live edition. With the episode of today, we investigated the meaning of bespoke and how the term is translated into concrete by the brand in its value of proposal of products and project. With Alessandro La Spada, we concluded the review dedicated to the 2020 products novelties, and with the US partner and the Italian one, we addressed the relationship and the dynamics of the market with great potential. We hope to have kept you in good company, above all to have informed you, intrigued, and even more passionately. As are the guests you have seen passing through this design gallery and those who have been present, even virtually, because Visionnaire is also a brand that knows how to excite and convey its energy. So I want to pass to thank you, Eleanor and Leo. Thanks for choosing me for this new format that you want to launch it to all the guests around the world. I want to just say a few words because I remember when Leo called me in mid of March at the beginning of the increasing of the pandemic diffusion, and he told me, Paolo, so I have a new idea. I want to try to launch this kind of new format to be closer to our client, to be closer to our guests, to all people that usually come to Milan, visit our showroom, and of course visit the booth at the Salone. And I immediately recognized that the idea was amazing. And if there is one brand is Visionnaire that can do something like this, because this kind of format, it's incredible in the format, incredible in the shapes. We host a lot of contents, interview, produced by efforts and a lot of work. You mentioned at the beginning. So I was really surprised, and I say to you, of course, I cannot wait to see the show, and I want to be one of the attendees. And you say, no, Paolo, you are our moderator. Exactly. And so we are.
Very good. No, we thank you, Paolo, for your energy, your time, and it was also very funny to do it. I would like also to thank all the staff, the technical staff that are behind the scene. We are talking about plus or minus 20 people coming from the Phonoprint organization. So here we have dozens of cameras, dozens of microphones, hundreds of lights, and so we arrived to transform this beautiful showroom in a TV studio. So it was a miracle during the lockdown. We thought about it, and we did it just after in the reopening. So I would like to do a big applause to all of you for this incredible, magnificent program. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you. So I have just one present for our lady.
Okay, very good.
If can come, because we are talking about beauty, and the beauty, it's interpreted also by the flower.
Oh, thank you. Too kind. Thank you, Paolo. Thank you very much.
Bene.
So we have just to finish this big show with the last contributor of music.
Absolutely. Directly from Phonoprint Studio, we launch again Ludovico Creti with the most well-known Italian song in the world, Nel blu dipinto di blu. Evviva!
Thank you so much.
Ciao, grazie.
Bye bye, ciao, thank you. Grazie.
Penso che un sogno così non ritorni mai più. Mi dipingevo le mani e la faccia di blu. Poi d'improvviso venivo dal vento rapito e incominciavo a volare nel cielo infinito. Volare, oh, cantare, nel blu, dipinto di blu, felice di stare lassù, e volavo felice più in alto del sole ed ancora più su, mentre il mondo pian piano svaniva lontano laggiù. Una musica dolce suonava soltanto per me. Di blu, felice di stare lassù, ma tutti i sogni nell'alba svaniscono perché quando tramonta la luna li porta con sé. Ma io continuo a sognare negli occhi tuoi belli, che sono blu come un cielo trapunto di stelle. Volare, oh, cantare, oh, nel blu degli occhi tuoi blu, felice di stare qua giù.